It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, sexuational. This is what we call the Dynasty.
An all-star fantasy football experience.
Welcome to the Dynasty Podcast. We have Bub Palucci here, and I'm Commissioner Eric Costanza. We're here, Bub.
Hi.
Going into what, week 8?
Yeah.
So, essentially, about halfway through, at least the regular season.
Yeah.
Probably a good and a bad thing at the same time. You know, in the position that I'm currently in, you know, borderline competitive, some may say I am, some may say I'm not, maybe you right now as well. It's funny, this just the overall competitiveness of this league. I know that was one of our main goals when, you know, we kind of started building this juggernaut up, and I think we've succeeded. If only gonna get better as we continue. I look at just a few examples. The free agent list is full of shit.
Yes.
There is shit.
Yeah, I had to play
there.
Cole Beasley last week. He got me -2 points, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dynasty really is the closest version of being an actual GM than any other fantasy football league out there in the world, I think. What do you think?
This is sort of going back to the previous thing, but I like when they say, oh yeah, this Stephon Diggs is a good waiver wire pickup this week. I'm like, he hasn't been in any league that I'm in for the last 4 weeks, never mind this week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you listen to podcasts, videos, whatever it is, you read stuff, go online, and more than half the time, guys that you say, oh, waiver wire pickups for this week,
yeah.
It's like, no,
not even close.
Not in this league.
No.
Which is a good thing. It's, especially running back. You go out there on the free agent list, there is shit out there. We got guys, holding handcuffs. It's good.
Yeah.
Because
it's a bloodbath.
It is a bloodbath. There's coaches that stay up until 2 a.m.
just to pick up free agents.
Yeah, so they don't have to put it.
I think Brian does it. Phil and Brian do it.
Okay, I know Brandon has done that. I know the
Stop it, Brandon. You can waste your waiver. It's okay.
I actually have never done it.
I haven't either. I just don't want to stay up that late.
For me, it's not worth it. But for some, they don't want to use their waiver claim. They want
if it works.
Yeah. It's just the innovative trading and techniques, strategies being used. It's just such a competitive, league that we got. I know this is something we probably already know at this point, but I was just thinking about it, and I thought, hey, let's talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
So on this show, we're going to break down last week's Week 6 results. We're going to do a little standings update, just kind of where we're at right now. We're going to preview the upcoming Week 8. We're in Week 8?
Yeah.
You sure this is Week 7?
Positive.
Okay. I'm going to check that. I think you're right, though. We're going to make an announcement of something that's never happened in the 11-plus years of this league, I think. I'm going to get your confirmation once we get to that juncture.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong.
Sure.
But I think. We're also going to welcome aboard the Redskins kicker, Dustin Hopkins.
Okay.
Bub, I'm sure you would never forget about that gentleman.
Yeah.
He's a guy no one should ever forget about. That's for sure. And Giants kicker, Josh Brown? Is that Josh? You're Josh Brown,
I don't know.
right?
Let's ask Brandon.
Yeah. So just a great show on board here. So shall we get started?
Choo-choo!
Now let's take a look into last week's results. Who kicked some ass? Who sucked?
All right. Week 7 in the books.
Are you sure it's Week 7? It was Week 7? I thought it was only Week 6.
I'm sure.
Okay,
sure.
right.
I checked. Let's go through them a little bit.
Sure.
You know what? Let's start off with this, Bub. I'm going to ask you. Biggest winner in Week 7. No, I don't mean like.
Yeah, no, I
point.
understand. I'm not a mathematical standpoint. I'm gonna say Coach Matt Whiffen.
Really?
Yep, because Todd Gurley has now cemented himself as a top 3, 2 running back in the league.
What?
yeah, moving forward, I mean, if you were redrafting today, where would Todd Gurley go?
I think he'd go right behind Le'Veon Bell.
I think top 5. I think you could say that was
top 2.
Yeah, maybe top 5 Freeman.
I don't know. I think
spitballing.
Sure.
So I think that's big. And then also he also has Amari Cooper, who had
a lot of rookies on his squad producing.
And
huh?
Cooper had a great game and wasn't necessarily expected to have an awesome game. He has a tough matchup this week against the Jets. But yeah,
Right.
I think Coach Griffin's players are really coming to play now, and he needs it considering that running back grossness he has.
Yeah. And
Otherwise.
speaking of Hong Kong, I alluded to this on the Twitter machine, a little teaser, if you will.
I saw that.
Okay. Would you like to hear this?
Oh, yeah.
So I tweeted there's a parallel
Yeah.
between the D12 Hong Kong Cavaliers,
Yep.
which was
Current.
the champion.
No,
Sorry, yes,
current.
the current,
And
and
the
then the
D10.
D10, which was the championship-winning squad. First of all, my favorite factoid on draft day of the factoids I hang up there
Sure, yeah.
was of Hong Kong's, which was, because it's so ridiculous yet true, which is that his keeper, in his, having a trouble.
Yeah. In D10.
No, that's not how I want to
Okay.
say it. So, he's been in the league, I want to say 6 or 7 years, I
Sure.
don't remember.
Yep.
And of those years, his keeper player has had 10 letters in their name twice.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one was Doug Martin in D10, who was a bit of a bust.
Yeah.
In this year, C.J. Anderson,
C.J. Anderson.
10 letters
Wow.
so far, as I called it,
Bust.
a bit of a bust.
Yeah.
So, in addition to that, that's not it, fellas. Hong Kong, with the win this week, has got a 3-game winning streak.
Okay.
In his 6 or 7 years in this league, he's only had a 3-game winning streak.
Let me guess. D10.
There it is. I think he may have had like a 5 or a 6-game winning streak, and he may have even had it like more than once in D10, but he's only had a 3-game winning streak in the seasons he's played. Here now in this season, and in D10.
Yeah. Okay.
So, history is of any consequence here. You'd think he
Yeah.
might go on and
Yeah.
do what he did in D10.
Well, I mean, if you were everyone else in this league, you might as well quit.
Just quit, throw the towel.
Whitford already wins.
Throw the damn towel!
The parallels are too strong.
I think a winner. I agree with you about Matt. I don't know if I'd give him the number 1 winner this week, though. I think I would.
I wish you had told me about this question earlier, and I could have thought of one.
Well, I like the fact that it's off the cuff.
Alright,
Not
yeah.
everything here's rehearsed,
Sure,
Bubba.
sure.
Not everything.
Sure.
As I have a 17-page document here to read of notes. No. Will the Young.
Ugh.
What do you mean, ugh to you?
Squeaking out a win.
A win's a win.
I know. You see Will the last 5 weeks.
A win's a win. And you know what? The Allen Hurns trade is the reason why he won. He would have.
Or you could say the fact that the Rams defense threw up 25 points.
Well, I'm talking about just as a coaching maneuver that he made. What do you
Okay,
mean?
he could have played Ryan Matthews.
But he
instead
told
of-
me. I did my research prior to this show, Bub, and he told me he would have played Roddy White.
Could have picked up any tight end.
Okay. A lot of things could have happened.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
All right, but more than likely he would have played the same team he played,
All right. I get it.
except for if the Allen Hurns trade didn't happen, he would have played Roddy White, which would have made him lose.
Yeah. All right.
That's a win right there. He's in tie for the lead in the South Division. Big win over Pig Newtons. I think Chris is a bit of a winner this week too. A loss would have probably made it
Oh yeah, he would be.
so he was definitely out of it.
Yeah.
Now he's at least trying
sure.
to stay in it.
Oh,
So
Foster. Bye.
the Boston Loggers are the talk of the town right now, Bob.
Dominating.
The talk of the town.
Dominating.
He
Derek Carr, 29 points.
great. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Bob.
Sure.
We almost made a trade in which he would have obtained Carson Palmer.
Ooh.
It didn't happen, obviously.
That would have been a silly. He was nervous about this game, huh?
Well, I think he really wants that number 1 seed. You saw what that did for me last year. You get to choose
but
your guy,
You got
your
Aaron
opponent.
Rodgers. I mean, you really need Carson Palmer for
Well, if you want the number 1 seed, it may be worth it depending on what he
Maybe.
would have had to have given up,
maybe.
right? See, these are the types of decisions that championship teams make during the season, Bob.
Yeah, sure.
I know you're unfamiliar with that. So
No, I don't know. What
well,
that
but
means.
right, exactly. The Loggers are actually now, they're averaging the second most weekly point high per season, averaging 2.5.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. It's really come out of nowhere, from a all-time record and winning percentage.
Yeah.
It's kind of going, making his way up there.
Making moves.
Bruno Deluxe is not, on the other hand, the talk of the town.
No.
0-7 now.
He stinks.
He's a stinker. In his defense, he is. Teams are scoring the most points against him in the league. So, not that he would be, in contention if that weren't the case, but luck isn't on his side right now either.
No, it's on Heaney's side.
No, I get it.
Get it?
Get it. He's tied a franchise record with 10 losses in a row, spanning back to last season. That's actually ties his franchise all-time high. So, and he plays me this week. We'll get into that. Anything else that stood out to you here in this week? Let's see. Soblo had a very big victory over
Lamar Miller.
Another secret I'm gonna unleash here. Brian actually emailed me, I think on Monday, the other day, saying I'm glad that we didn't make that trade for Dion Lewis for Lamar Miller.
Lamar Miller threw up some bones on Sunday.
35 points.
35 bones.
Tied, actually triple tie for the most fantasy points for week 7 with Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill, who was benched. Cousins is on the free agent market.
Yeah.
So there you go. Anything else that we want to talk about here in week 7?
Nope.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the standings. Give us the standings page up. If you could give our listeners just a quick little rundown of where we're at. From people can read their own standings, but you give us your analysis of where each division's at.
Loggers. Knock on wood, Ben. I'm not trying to jinx it, but pretty much locking up. I would say a playoff spot, unless something catastrophic happens. Johnny's sitting at 5-2, still okay, especially in a overall weaker division, I guess I would say, standings wise. You and Heaney kind of going in opposite directions these last few weeks. You on the way down, he on the way up. I don't know if either of you have enough.
Can I just add in?
Sure.
At 3 and 4, I have the third most points in the league.
Well, you're 3 and 4.
But I'm 3 and 4. So I guess my point of saying that though is that if I was 3 and 4, but like in Chris's or somewhere towards the bottom from a point standpoint, obviously points is the tiebreaker.
No, you're ahead of him. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. I just don't think overall either of you will have enough.
Right.
Jumping down to the south, Hong Kong is also 3-game winning streak on his way up here. Will continues to somehow win. I don't know how. He scores 83 points a game. And then you still got Phil, who was one of the better teams in the beginning, and I think Roethlisberger really hurt him because of Antonio Brown. Brown hasn't really done a super amount.
Will actually averages 100 points per game.
I think in the last 4.
Math.
In the last 4.
Okay.
We'll take a look at it.
Okay.
So, but Phil and then Brian, and
I think Brian's on his way up.
Yeah. Three wins in a row. And then new guy was putting on a little surge. Got knocked back. I think if he loses this week, he may be looking at a potential fire sale.
Yeah, I've talked to him in a little bit about trade negotiations. He's in a gray area,
Yep.
Plus he's feeling his way out in this league.
Sure.
He's still trying to figure things out.
Sure.
Like a dirty virgin.
Sure.
Is that possible to be a dirty virgin?
Yeah.
Can you tell us how? Like specifically, get real
like
into
that.
it.
Oh yeah, let's. But I don't want to have sex.
Now, let's take a look into the future with next week's matchups.
Okay, so you just did a little bit of math.
Yeah, quick little update.
Yeah.
So I just said that Will was averaging 83 points a game. You corrected me and said he's averaging 100. And I said, yeah, but in his last 4 games. I just want to let you guys know he's averaging 83.25. I was fucking dead on.
Good job, bud.
In his last 4 games. That's pathetic, Will.
That is...
And he's won 2 of those.
Your strength right there.
That's the difference between being 5-2 and 2-5.
Numbers are your thing. Don't
love
let anyone
numbers.
ever tell you
I
otherwise.
love numbers. Yeah, give it to me. I don't want to have sex, though.
Week 8, right? We're heading into.
Yes,
I think,
it is
right?
week 8.
Okay,
yes.
okay. Let's go through the slut of games here. The Riverdale Scoopers at 3-4 going up against the Brutal Deluxations of 0-6, 0-7, whatever we are.
I know you probably haven't really updated your roster, but right now, as it stands, Brandon's projected to be 69-62.
Yes, yes. Although I will say, this is going to sound like me, but we're talking about it. Every single week so far, I have scored more points than CVS robots have thought I should. I also don't have a kicker slotted in there right now. But yeah, I'm sure those will go up a little bit.
It just looks funny. It just looks funny.
Yeah, I have a feeling that since Brutal and myself give up the most amount of points in this league, this will be the week that Brutal puts up like a $140.
No, his team's pretty bad.
Yoi Soy Fiesta 3-4, also 3-4, going up against yourself, Bubba.
Yeah.
2-5.
Yep. He needs a win.
He needs a win to stay in it. You just are trying to avoid the worst team and things
Whatever
of that
happens.
nature.
Whatever happens.
The 5-2 Rockdale Senators tied for the lead in the South is going up against the identical 5-2 Transgender Satanists.
Big game.
It is a big game. It is a big game. Possible game of the week. With one more loss, the Satanists obtain. Ready for this?
Ready.
They'll be the first one to obtain 100 all-time losses.
You know what that means, John? You got to run the table.
Yeah, to
Run the
avoid
table.
it. You gotta, from here on out, you
Yep.
have to run the fucking table.
Let's get it done.
The 4-3 Pig Newtons are going another one. Wow,
Another big
7-0 Boston Loggers.
Another big game.
Loggers is 0-3 all time against Phil. And Loggers needs 24 more points, which I think he's going to do, to obtain 5,000 all time. Hong Kong Cavs 5-2 going up against 3-4 VIP. I guess we got quite a good slot of games this week. Yeah, sluts.
Definitely.
And the 4-3 Soul Glownians are going up against the 1-6 Handy Quacks. This is gonna be tough, Bob, but a game of the week. Ooh. And you can only pick one. None of this trifecta and go games of the week. Give me one that we should all pay specific attention to. Specific.
I'm going to go with Pig Newton's Boston Loggers. I think Phil's going to upset him this week. I think Boston Loggers goes down.
Okay. Is it an upset?
Well, I mean, according to the projections, no. But I think Ben's 7-0, so
yeah, I guess you can.
I think Phil's going to pull out the victory this week. Sorry, Ben.
All right, cool. Bold prediction. That was kind of
No. Come on. You bold prediction. Get out of here. My bold prediction is that Will throws up less. I don't know if this is bold anymore. Will throws up less than 80.
Say that again.
Will throws up less than 80 points.
Okay. Now, and does he win or lose?
No, he gets crushed. I don't even know if that's bold, but there is no way that Will wins this week.
All right, but your bold.
My bold prediction is less than 80.
How about they'll say bold prediction? Will put up less than 80.
That's
and
all.
lose.
Yeah, sure.
Can we go back to Zach for a moment?
Sure.
All right. So this is out of nowhere. I forgot about this. I know Zach's one of the, I think, 2 coaches that doesn't listen to this show, so feel free to let him know this.
Sure.
I don't care. Is Zach the worst coach in the league this year? Like, I'm not talking about the worst team. Like just his coaching. Pretty bad.
I mean, Brandon's pretty bad.
I think they're. I mean, Brandon didn't have the best draft. Maybe Zach had a better. Although Zach had more picks than me and Brandon. He's doing. He has one more win than Brandon. I'm doing better than him, and I had less picks. He made a mess up with the whole Dustin Hopkins thing from a coaching strategy standpoint, just like Brandon did in the John Brown thing.
To be honest, if that Hopkins thing actually mattered, like if you had won by like 3 and Hopkins had put up 7 points, I think that would be the talk of the century.
We could say the same thing about Brandon, though, right? Like, there's actually, at the end of the day, maybe Josh Brown would have been better than John Brown. He probably has more points than him right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, I'm just saying, if Zach spent a little bit more time maybe researching and maybe picking up a defense that doesn't have like fucking -1 point, instead of like picking
sure
up like Chris Gibbons. I'd like to hear the you were with him on Sunday. I'd like to hear do you know what his strategic reason was for picking up Chris Gibbons?
I don't even know he picked up Chris Gibbons.
Yeah, that was an interesting maneuver he did there. Made no sense whatsoever. I don't know if he was trying to block someone from doing something, but
To be honest with you, until I just looked, I didn't know who Chris Givens played for.
Chris Givens
Does he have a statistic this year?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, who would in their right mind ever do such a thing? What a ridiculously stupid
He
decision.
had 2 catches last game.
I just saying, the perception of Zach being a good coach might be dwindling here. He's 500 all time.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of, like, just, what are you doing moves. And with the Ozmakers videos, too, it's funny. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's entertaining. But it's funny, and I think we may have mentioned this before. The way he talks and stuff, I'm not trying to drag him as a person, obviously, because he's obviously a good person. I'm not getting into that. This is fantasy, obviously. But the way he talks, it's like he's like almost always right. When in actuality, he's almost always wrong.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a persona that we.
Okay.
And by we, I really mean they, because I'm not really in the videos. I think it's kind of a persona they portray. I think that's certainly a bit of an act, but. I mean, in general, he is like that, but I think that's definitely bit of an act.
I think every week he said he's going to score more points than me. And can you go to the matchups for a moment in the site? We can all do this. If you'd like to do it together while we're talking through it here, listener, feel free to.
Like how?
No. Go to the standings and breakdown. I'm sorry, I said the wrong thing. Go to the breakdown. I'm here. If I played Zach every week, what would my record be, Bob?
7-0.
Huh. And what would his record be?
I'm not too good at numbers. I don't know.
I think it'd be 0-7.
0-7.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. So I guess we'll just leave that as it may.
All right.
Stop everything. Seek shelter. Run for the hills. We have ourselves breaking news from the world of the Dynasty.
Okay, Bob, so we have some trades.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Hit me with some knowledge.
All right. What is that noise? What is happening right
It's
now?
Danny Trejo.
Okay.
I thought you were playing music in the background. I was like, oh, this is a new one.
No, you're over here with Brady Bunch on your computer. All right. The Hong Kong Cavaliers
Yes.
and the Pig Newtons have agreed upon a deal.
Okay.
Okay. It looks like it is a player-for-player deal.
Yes.
A bit of a medieval type of trade,
Yeah.
something that doesn't occur too often here in this league anymore. The Hong Kong Cavaliers have decided to part ways with Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis, yep.
Those names.
Yeah, those. What kind of names are you talking about?
Just unique ones, Bob.
Yes.
Very
unique. Yes, unique.
Jarvis Landry is going to be leaving the Hong Kong Cavaliers. He's going to be going to the Pig Newtons.
Bye.
And in return, Tyler Eifert, tight end,
Yes.
will be leaving the Pig Newtons and going over to Hong Kong Cavaliers. Give us, Bob, your analysis.
I mean, Landry's been hot. Eifert's been good. That's a necessity trade, assuming for both of them. It's a fair enough trade. I don't hate it.
If there was a gun to your head, and you had to pick who got or will be getting the better of the deal, and if you don't answer, you are dead, what would you say? Bub just fell down to the ground, I think. Are you okay?
No, I'm just faking dead.
You were faking. Okay, I didn't know if you
Well,
passed out or
the
something.
problem is, like I said, one team needs one needs the other. I mean, I'm not a huge Eifert fan. I don't know why. I don't believe in the Bengals offense. I know they've put up a lot of points. I don't believe in them, though. So, I mean, I guess Landry, especially, had a really good game last week, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So I guess, who was it, Phil? But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a bad trade either way.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, and now, so we just announced the Pig Newtons and Hong Kong Cavalier trade. Now, this is the... All right, first of all, Bubba, have we ever had a three-way trade in the Dynasty?
I wish you stopped right after three-way. No.
I didn't think we did. I wasn't sure. I know we almost had a four-way, I think, before you were even in the league.
Yes.
But it got shot down by some asshole. Now... the first in this league, I'm proud to say that there has been a three-way trade, which we are here to announce, and actually on the line is the two other coaches involved, because I am involved. Brian Tavalieri of the Soul Glonians. I think they're 3-4, and they've won
4-3, I think.
4-3. Shit, and they're coming on strong, the bastards. And the transgender Satanist, Coach Johnny C, who's sitting at what, 5-2,
Yep.
and still looking to win this thing and drop the mic and get the hell out of here. Brian and John, hello.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi.
Good. We're all doing good, Bub. Here you go. This is a three-way trade we would like for you to announce, please.
Sure. Coach John gets the Broncos defense, best defense in the league fantasy-wise so far.
I didn't agree to that.
Coach Brian gets Philip Rivers and Eric's 13th round pick coming up this coming year. Eric will get Brian's 10th round pick this coming year, John's 11th round pick this coming year, and John's 2000. Okay, I was going to say that doesn't make any sense. And Brian's 2017 7th round pick.
There it is.
Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Did I nail it?
You can read.
That's correct.
I nailed it.
So, Brian, let's start with you. Quick rundown why you wanted to do this trade and how you feel about it in your groinal area.
What? I want to bring up one thing.
Here we go.
We made a draft day trade, Eric, where you were supposed to make me a goddamn sandwich at your house, and you never made me that sandwich.
That is true.
Whoa!
That is
Whoa!
absolutely
So
true.
I am submitting this now on the podcast formally to Coach Will to investigate this from an ethical standpoint. So there might be more coming to this deal, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It might not be over.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I remember that. I think, texting you the next day, Brian, and remembering, like, holy shit, like, I never provided the sandwich or the burger or whatever it was.
I think that's a first round penalty. I think you get his first round pick next year, Brian.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I think I don't know what to say to that. I felt horrible the next day, and I sincerely apologized, and I don't blame Brian. I would do the same thing for submitting this to Will. I'm surprised this hasn't gotten out at this point yet.
Yeah.
John.
Hi.
Hi. So you're obtaining the Denver Broncos defense. You're giving up Philip Rivers. You're giving up that. I think you're the only last pick that you're able to give up here. Feelings, thoughts, and maybe possible political views regarding this trade.
Yeah, so Philip Rivers I don't need anymore. As everyone knows, I have Tom Brady, and he had his bye week. So Philip Rivers has been being one of the top quarterbacks in the league, just rotting on my bench. So I wanted to get something for him. And the defensive position on my team has been one of my Achilles heels. So I feel like getting the Broncos D, which is the best defense in the league, will help.
You're right. Good call.
Great. Bub,
Thank you.
Bub, you're going to obviously be talking with the other members of the Dynasty Trading Committee.
Sure.
But do you have any thoughts regarding this trade from administration standpoint?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely going to veto it immediately.
Yeah, good. Brian and John, thank you for being on the show here. Brian, I'm going to be FedExing you a cheeseburger in the mail, so be on the lookout for that. I do apologize for not fulfilling my obligation to you. Good day to you, fellas.
Bye-bye.
Good day, guys.
Nice doing business with you.
So there you have it. The first time the three-way. I'm kind of surprised the three-way trade hasn't happened yet in this league.
I think it's hard
tough,
enough to
but
pull off a regular trade. Never mind a three-way trade.
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised.
Yeah.
I didn't do it just to do it. I don't think anyone. It made sense all around. Actually, I got addressed. I wasn't the initiator.
Oh
How
yeah,
do
okay.
you-
Yeah,
I don't know how to-
they
They
talked
came to
you.
me,
Yeah,
yeah.
they came on you.
I think it's time. So we've had how many NFL players
12.
have we had on the show? It's close to that, right?
I just pulled the number out of my butt. I don't know for real.
The Joe Andruzzi's,
Yep.
the Chad Henneys, the Toby Gerhardt.
Chad Henne.
Who else? Niall Davis.
Yep.
Troy Brown and Roman Pfeiffer and Gostkowski. Didn't we have a kicker? Oh, we had Steve Hoshka's mom.
Yeah, that counts.
Right, sure. I mean, maybe you're missing some. Anyway,
maybe a few less than 12.
We're gonna add that. We're gonna add more to the list here because we're gonna have the definitive Dustin Hopkins and Josh Brown interview. This was pre-recorded, so Bub, you were unfortunately not part of this.
No.
But I was able to, so let's go ahead and take a listen.
Sure.
And see how it goes.
Let's kick it off.
I get it. You kick and the kickers. Yeah.
Now, the Dynasty Podcast brings you an interactive and likely ridiculous segment which borderlines on actual legit media. Buckle up your fucking seatbelts for the Dynasty Podcast interactive segment.
And now, on the Dynasty Podcast Interactive Hotline, we have Washington Redskins kicker, and a man no one should ever forget about, Dustin Hopkins. Dustin, thank you for being on the Dynasty Podcast.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Great. So, Dustin, I'm actually just going to start and kind of set the scene. I think you have a pretty great story. So, I know you were originally drafted by the Bills in the 6th round of the 2013 draft.
Right.
You had a great college career there at Florida State. After getting injured, you were placed on the IR. Then I think you found yourself with the Saints here in the preseason this year. Things didn't really pan out there, and then you ended up getting the call from the Redskins earlier this season. I guess my question for you is, what did you do during those weeks to stay in shape and be ready both physically and emotionally while you were kind of in a flux position during that time?
So it actually wasn't too long. It was I don't know, maybe a week and a half or something like that. I got one of those trial memberships at a gym. So I had somewhere to work out at, and I was kicking at a park. They had these light posts that were pretty close together, probably about 3 yards, like an arena league upright. And so I was just practicing on those on this intramural softball field out in the outfield, and had my wife holding for me. And it was pretty funny. After I guess I'd said that in the locker room when I was being interviewed, and some media outlets took it like the angle they took was almost like I was homeless and kicking and somehow got found. But I thought that was pretty entertaining.
Right.
But yeah, I just lifted and was trying to stay up on my kicking while we were kind of actively moving our stuff out of our place in New Orleans.
And what about even like emotionally? Like, obviously you had to kind of keep your mind ready to go at any point.
Right. Yeah. So I was ready to go. I felt I had a good camp, and I felt good. So I was I don't know. I was excited and ready to get the job. And when the tryout opportunity came, I didn't know what they were. I don't know, not their angle, that's a poor choice of words, but what they were looking for. I know a lot of teams will try guys out just so they have a list down the road for potential guys. So I wasn't sure if that was the deal or if they're looking to make a move. And so I came in and, thank the Lord I had a good workout. And they made the move that day, which I was kind of, not to say that I wasn't expecting it because, I had to go in with that mindset. But I didn't know what they were thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
So kickers have one of the more toughest jobs in the NFL, having to kind of stand on the sidelines for a majority of the game, but then possibly getting thrusted right into the thick of things and possibly the more important play of the game, and like a game-winning field goal or something like that. Can you tell us what your key is just to stay calm during those kind of huge and kind of impactful moments?
Sure. Well, man, I remember, if you could take it back a little bit, my freshman year in college was the first year that I didn't play a position as well. So in high school, it was nice because I was on the field, I was in the game and nothing changed, and I could stay warm, it was easy. And then going to college, that freshman year was tough, trying to get a routine and learn how to stay warm, but yet fresh for 4 hours or however long,
Yeah.
So on the sideline, I think you can't focus for 4 hours straight, or else you're not going to be as locked in when you need to be. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive, I guess, but so I'm paying attention to the game the whole time, but I'm not trying to be locked in per se, you know.
Yeah.
And then as third down rolls around and we're in field goal kicking range, that's when I kind of hone it down and stop talking to people and get in the right mindset to make a kick.
Right.
So I'll out there and just have the keys in my head, just as far as, you know, whether it's short contact or middle up the field or whatever. Just I'll have 2 keys in my head that kind of block everything out and make sure I'm doing what I need to do to be successful in that kick. You know.
Right. Kind of get in the zone there. Absolutely.
Right. So if your mind's already thinking about 2 things, you can't be focused on what you're going to do after the game or what happens, good or bad, as a result of that play.
Right.
You know?
And then lastly, as you likely know, fantasy football is extremely popular nowadays.
Huge.
Yeah, a lot of I guess non-Redskins fans across the country may actually solely maybe know you from maybe being the kicker on their fantasy team or something like that. Do you play fantasy, or are you familiar with it at all, or?
I mean, I'm familiar with it. I get the gist of it, but I don't play.
Yeah.
I know it's blown up. It's funny hearing opposing teams fans like, "Hey, I got you on my fantasy team," you know.
And yeah, actually, with that said, one of our listeners here on this show emailed us actually kind of a funny, quirky little email here, which if you don't mind, this will be the last thing here I'll read to you. And actually, at the end is a little bit of a kind of a request, I guess. So we'll see.
Sure.
See if you're willing. But let's see. I'll just read it. It says, Dustin, heading into my week 2 matchup in fantasy, I didn't have a kicker on my fantasy team, so my opponent strategically and weaselly added and subsequently dropped every free agent kicker in the league to block me from being able to start a kicker against him. However, he apparently didn't know that you were recently signed by Washington, therefore I added you to my team and you assisted me in winning that week. So that said, I wanted to thank you and kindly ask if you would say, Zach, you fool, never forget about Dustin Hopkins.
Well, it's very kind of them. All right, I will grant the request.
Great.
Zach, you fool, never forget about Dustin Hopkins.
Awesome. Thanks,
Zach.
I'm sure our listeners will love that. So, hey, Dustin, continued success for you. We really appreciate you being on the show, and good luck the rest of the way.
Eric, appreciate you having me on, man. Thank you.
And now on the Dynasty Podcast Interactive Hotline, we have New York Giants kicker Josh Brown. Josh, thank you for joining the show.
Well, thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, Josh, you've been in the NFL now for, I think, about 12 years, and you've become probably one of the more solid and consistent kickers in the league. This year is obviously no exception. You're 18 for 19 on all of your field goal and extra point attempts. What would you say? What would you think the success is attributed to?
Well, I think maturity plays a part in that, and I think going through my career and having some mishaps and learning from some of the quote unquote failures throughout the last 12, 13 years, and also just understanding the game and understanding the role that I play and how important it is or how important it can be, and just really maturing within the position and understanding my craft.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Josh, wondering what your thoughts are on having the extra points obviously been moved back a little bit here this season. The percentages are down a little bit compared to, I think it was like 99% up until this point, down a little bit. What are your thoughts on moving the extra point back a tad bit?
Well, I'm actually all for it. I think it adds a little bit of drama. Obviously, kicking a PAT from the 2 was a chance to kind of go get another hot dog or take a bathroom break, and I think backing it up, making it a 33-yard field goal, I think it really adds some drama to that play and to that moment, and really it adds a little bit of value to the kicker himself too, if he can be consistent and play through weather and play through circumstances and continue to make those kicks. I think it's a good thing for the position. I think it's a great thing for the game, especially as we get later into the season. I think we're going to see games won and lost based upon how the kicker's doing with these new PATs.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll probably be even more interesting once, as you said, once the weather, changes and rain and snow and gets cold. So, yeah, like you said, you can't just assume it's going to be a good extra point anymore, which
Right.
I agree with you. I think it adds a little bit of a, positive element to that play.
So, Josh, you're currently not on a dynasty team, but you have been picked up and dropped by a few different teams this season. How does it feel to know that you're available? You're going to keep your mind ready, your leg ready. At any point, you can be picked up by any one of us jabronis and be thrusted right into a lineup.
Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, you obviously want to come into it and be positive and whatnot, but, I think what I've learned throughout this league is you can ride the wave, but you got to respect the wave at the same time.
Josh, the Riverdale Scoopers are looking for a kicker, looking for a full-time kicker. I've lost 3 games in a row. Any words of wisdom that you may have for me that may want me to actually pick you up and play your ass?
So you gotta continue to fight and continue to do your job and come in expecting everything in the kitchen sink to be thrown at you.
Great. And I guess the last subject I wanted to touch base with you on is actually regarding fantasy football. It's really taken off lately, especially even since you've joined the league. It's gotten even bigger over the past 5-10 years or so. Do you play fantasy at all, Josh? Or if not, what do you think of it?
Yeah, no, it's not something I've ever done myself. My son has quite a few teams. He enjoys the GM aspect of it for himself, and he does quite well. There's a lot of guys on the teams that do it, but just like you said, we've seen a tremendous amount of expansion as far as fantasy football goes, and you see a lot of more commercials this year. It's come a long way. There's no doubt about it, and it's really gives the fan an opportunity to really plug into the general manager's frame of mind and really just have some fun. It really is what I see from my son's teams. Is just a lot of enjoyment, a lot of fun. He's passionate about sports and guys within the league and their stats, and if you can do it, and if people are making a little bit of cash on it on the side, I mean, good for them.
I hope your son picks you on his team.
Sometimes he doesn't, I mean, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes Dad has a down year, but more often than not, I usually make the roster. But he notices his allowance goes down, but sometimes he doesn't know why.
Speaking of that, just kind of lastly for you, a little bit of a funny, quirky story. I'm sure that your one of your highlights of your career probably came back when you were drafted by the Seahawks back in 2003. In my fantasy football league, the draft that we had back in, I want to say it was August or September, kind of a funny little thing happened when we found you in the center of some controversy in our league. Just wanted to let you know about it because it's just kind of a funny little thing. So one of the guys in our league, actually his name was Brandon. I'll give him a shout out because he's probably listening. In like the 9th or 10th round, he attempted to go draft John Brown on the Cardinals, the wide receiver. And he accidentally wrote Josh Brown. And no offense to you, but you may know that typically kickers aren't drafted until like one of the last rounds. So we all kind of looked at each other like, "Are you serious?" And then when he said he actually meant to pick John Brown, then there was a bit of a kind of a controversy as to whether or not we let him have him or pick someone else, or we make him have you as his kicker. So. Anyway, just kind of a funny thing, and I guess any message that you want to send to Brandon, who accidentally did that on draft day in fantasy?
I mean, it's not like I don't score points, so and we've gathered up a few good fantasy points, and so I wish him all the luck, but sometimes mistakes are meant to happen, man. You should have went with it.
Absolutely, and with that said, I think you are in the at least top 10 or top 8 or so of kickers in fantasy so far. So for what that's worth. But anyway, Josh, all the continued success. Good luck, obviously, this week and the rest of the way. And again, we appreciate you being on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for giving me a chance to come on.
That was this week's Dynasty Podcast Interactive Segment.
Wow, so there you have it. The definitive Dustin Hopkins, Josh Brown interviews, Bob. How'd you
Is
think
that
they went?
Josh Brown or John Brown?
Yes. It was funny what he said. You know what? And he's true. It's true, right? Like Josh Brown. I want to say Josh Brown's close to having just as many, if not more, points than John Brown does at this point, right?
True.
How many does he have?
It's 67 to 70.
Okay.
Josh to John.
Okay.
But
But
if you comparatively,
sure.
Kickers are all around there,
Right,
and
right.
so
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not apples to apples.
Right.
Sure. Let's not let
it's like
these
bananas to pears.
facts get in the way of these incredible,
Right.
wonderful points.
Right.
So there you have it. Good stuff. Thank you to both franchises for allowing me to speak
Yes.
with their kickers.
Yes,
and
thank
to,
you.
to both kickers for being on the show.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Then there's some special messages, of course, that were given to Dustin for Zach and
sure.
to Josh for Brandon. They're going to live in infamy, I think, in the
Perhaps.
Dynasty's history. Story
Down
history.
with Chad Henne.
Mm-hmm. Among other things.
Yeah.
What do these things have in common, Bob? Ready? The red zone,
Yep.
mentally challenged individuals.
Oh, my first thought was things that give me boners, but then you got to that one and
It doesn't do it for
no.
you. Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Okay, sure.
I think I know.
So the red zone, mentally challenged individuals, a curtained off VIP section,
Okay.
and just like no Jeff Guard in the no Jeff Guard.
Is it something about Brian's bathroom?
Close? It could be actually.
I think that's my guess.
Okay. Brian's bathroom?
Yep.
Sure. No, it's actually the mid-season hangout.
Ah,
things that have occurred,
my
or
next guess.
things that are there, or things that aren't there,
My
right?
next guess.
Coming up, we're not going to have a show again until we have it, so I just wanted to mention it. It's 2 weeks?
Not this coming week.
Right, but the one after.
A week after.
November the 8th. We have already got confirmation of 11 of 12 coaches will be in attendance. Unfortunately, new guy has a previous engagement.
Wow.
I know, it's disappointing because we all liked him. He was
Wow.
probably the MVP of the draft, and we wanted to get to, for those of us that don't already know him more, and get him intertwined within our league.
I hate him.
You hate him.
Done. I hate him.
I saw he was doing some applesauce making.
Don't even get me started.
What is the problem that you have with this, Neil?
There's no reason.
Here we go.
What are you're canning your own applesauce on a Sunday? What do you not watch football? I mean, I get it, your team's 3 and 4. My team's 2 and 5. I still watch football. I don't move from the couch for 10 hours that day. Every Sunday, I don't move. Guess what? It was 13 hours last week because friggin' 9:30 on London. Do you know why they play at 9:30 on London, by the way? So in Asia, it's a primetime game. Asia!
I didn't know that.
Stupid new guy.
I heard though that the ratings for Yahoo, which is who is streaming the game,
Big.
was
Which sucks.
ridiculous.
That sucks.
It sucks because
They're going to do it again.
and you don't want it on
No,
Yahoo.
it was horrible.
Yeah, it wasn't even on TV, was it?
You had to watch
had
it
to
on Yahoo.
yeah, that is
Now we
bullshit.
hooked it up to the TV.
Yeah, but
But
it's
it's
pain
like
in the
it's
ass.
choppy. It's
Yeah.
not HD. It's awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So you okay now? You all right?
I would love to try some applesauce, new guy.
Send us some applesauce in the mail, Derek. Make us feel better, or at least Bubba, because he's very distraught about you right now. Try to make it up to us. Maybe you can cancel whatever wedding you're going to and make,
Yeah.
show up.
Fuck them.
You know what?
Send us some applesauce.
All of a sudden, picture this. We're all enjoying ourselves. The middle of the first quarter, the Pats are up like 40-0 at that point. Boom, the lights go out.
Applesauce.
Applesauce starts raining from the sky, and the Undertaker's music hits.
Okay.
Lights
I'm digging
come on.
it. I'm digging it.
Derek is on the bar section,
Naked.
with covered in applesauce. Yeah.
Things that give me boners again.
All right, so here, let's see. So that's gonna do it here for this show.
It's too bad.
It is too bad. We won't have a show next week, but I think we're going to be returning the following week. So in 2 weeks, the week following the mid-season hangout, in which co-hosts Phil Tamulus and I are finally hoping to have Nick Stevens or Fitzy on the show. He did finally respond to my emails and tweets, and I think we're going to have him on. So look forward to that. Until then, we will see you at Jillian's in a couple of weeks. Over and out!
Thank you for listening to the Dynasty Podcast. To hear more podcasts in your ear holes, subscribe to the show on YouTube. Or don't. The choice is yours.